Have you ever wondered about the driving force behind the world's economic and political landscapes? If so, you've stumbled upon the right topic. Today, we're going to delve into the concept of neoliberalism, a potent force that has shaped the global economy and influenced political systems in ways more profound than you might imagine. Neoliberalism, in its most basic essence, is an economic and political ideology that emphasizes the power of free markets, encourages deregulation, and promotes the privatization of the state's assets. It champions the minimization of state intervention in economic affairs, advocating for laissez-faire economics where market forces are left to play out naturally. This ideology has been monumental in shaping the economic policies of countries worldwide, leading to significant transformations in their political and social landscapes. However, like any influential idea, it has its fair share of proponents and critics. One such critic is David Harvey, a distinguished professor of anthropology and geography. In his book, A Brief History of Neoliberalism, Harvey presents a critical examination of this ideology. He explores its origins, its rise to prominence, its key proponents, and how it has been practically implemented across the globe. Harvey's analysis is incisive and comprehensive, backed by thorough research and a deep understanding of economic theory and political history. He challenges the prevailing narrative that champions neoliberalism as the ultimate solution for economic growth and development. Instead, he highlights the adverse effects of neoliberal policies, shedding light on their role in exacerbating income inequality, eroding social safety nets, and perpetuating systemic injustices. This book is more than just a critique of an economic ideology. It's an invitation to question the status quo, to delve deeper into the economic orthodoxy that governs our world, and to understand the broader social, political, and economic implications of neoliberal policies. So, how did this all-encompassing ideology come into being, and who were its proponents? The answers to these questions form an intriguing narrative, one that we will uncover as we journey through the world of neoliberalism. So, stay tuned as we embark on this enlightening exploration. Neoliberalism, as we know it today, didn't just spring up overnight. It's a product of intellectual exploration and institutional influence, with roots reaching deep into the mid-20th century. The seeds of neoliberalism were sown by economists like Friedrich Hayek and Milton Friedman, who championed the power of free markets and the importance of individual liberty. Hayek, an Austrian-British economist and philosopher, was one of the most influential political thinkers of the 20th century. His work, The Road to Serfdom, argued against the dangers of central planning and socialism, and advocated for a laissez-faire economic system. Milton Friedman, an American economist and statistician, shared similar views. He was a leading advocate of economic liberalism, promoting concepts like the natural rate of unemployment and the importance of monetary policy. These ideas didn't just remain in the academic sphere. Institutions played a key role in promoting and implementing these neoliberal policies. The Mont Pelerin Society, founded by Hayek, was a key player in this. This international organization was composed of economists, philosophers, historians, intellectuals, and business leaders who shared a common commitment to the principles of free society. Their work played a significant role in shaping policy debates and influencing economic decision-making worldwide. Similarly, the Chicago School of Economics became a powerhouse for neoliberal thought. The school was known for its rigorous defense of free market principles and its influence on economic policies around the globe. Economists from the Chicago School, including Friedman, were instrumental in shaping the neoliberal ideology, pushing for deregulation, privatization, and a reduced role for the state in economic affairs. These intellectual and institutional forces set the stage for neoliberalism's rise, but what does this ideology really entail? The next scene will delve into the core tenets of neoliberalism, providing a deeper understanding of this influential yet often controversial economic and political ideology. At its core, neoliberalism champions the power of the free market. This belief system underpins an economic and political ideology that has shaped the global landscape for the last few decades. The first key principle of neoliberalism is the unwavering faith in free markets. Neoliberals argue that markets, when left to their own devices, will find the most efficient outcome. This is the so-called invisible hand of the market, a term borrowed from the 18th century economist Adam Smith. The second principle is deregulation, which essentially means reducing the role of government in the economy. Neoliberals believe that rules and regulations often do more harm than good, stifling innovation and competition. They argue that businesses should be left free to operate as they see fit, with the market itself acting as the ultimate regulator. Next in line is the principle of privatization. This involves transferring ownership of public assets and services to the private sector. The argument here is that private businesses, driven by the profit motive, are more efficient and effective than the public sector. Finally, there's reduced state intervention. Neoliberals argue for a minimal role of government in economic affairs, beyond providing a stable environment for markets to function. They believe that government should not interfere with the workings of the economy, but rather should focus on maintaining law and order and protecting property rights. These tenets of neoliberalism have shaped economic policies worldwide, influencing everything from trade agreements to tax laws. They have steered the global economy towards greater openness and integration, fostering a climate of competition and innovation. But like any ideology, neoliberalism is not without its critics. Many argue that these principles, while promoting efficiency and growth, have also led to widening economic inequality and the erosion of social safety nets. But with these principles in play, what impacts have they had on our societies? This question leads us to the next scene, where we delve into the real-world effects of neoliberalism. Stay tuned as we explore this further. The ripple effects of neoliberalism are far-reaching, influencing various aspects of society. Let's take a moment to really understand the profound impact it has had. Neoliberalism has been a significant catalyst for economic inequality. Its emphasis on free markets and deregulation, coupled with minimal state intervention, has created a chasm between the haves and the have-nots. The rich are getting richer, while the working class struggles to keep up, leading to a widening wealth gap that threatens social stability. Furthermore, neoliberal policies have often resulted in financial crises. The deregulation of financial markets, a cornerstone of neoliberal thought, has led to speculative bubbles and subsequent crashes. Think of the housing bubble of the mid-2000s, a crisis fueled by the neoliberal penchant for deregulation. Social welfare systems have also taken a hit under neoliberalism. The shift towards privatization and the reduction of state intervention have eroded safety nets, leaving the vulnerable to fend for themselves. This erosion of support systems is a stark reminder of the human cost of neoliberal policies. And let's not forget the concentration of wealth. Neoliberalism has facilitated the accumulation of resources in the hands of a few, leading to a power dynamic that undermines democratic principles. This concentration of wealth and power is a sobering testament to neoliberalism's impact on our societies. Neoliberalism's effects extend beyond the economy, influencing labor, the environment, urbanization, and globalization. It has reshaped labor markets, often to the detriment of workers, and has spurred environmentally harmful practices in the name of economic growth. It has shaped cities through the privatization of public spaces, and has driven globalization in a way that often prioritizes corporate interests over human rights and environmental sustainability. These societal changes beg the question, is neoliberalism really the panacea it's often made out to be? As we delve deeper into the realities of neoliberalism, it becomes increasingly clear that this economic and political ideology has left an indelible mark on our world, and not always for the better. Neoliberalism, like any ideology, has its critics and its champions. David Harvey, in his book A Brief History of Neoliberalism, falls firmly in the former camp. He presents a scathing critique of neoliberalism, arguing that its core tenets have shaped a system that prioritizes profit over social welfare. Harvey points out that the neoliberal agenda has led to a concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few. He argues that the emphasis on free markets, deregulation and privatization, coupled with the minimization of state intervention, has resulted in widening economic inequality and the erosion of social welfare systems. Moreover, Harvey contends that the neoliberal policies have exacerbated social divisions and undermined democratic processes. His critical evaluation paints a picture of neoliberalism as an ideology that has perpetuated systemic injustices and left in its wake a trail of financial crises. Now, it's essential to note that not everyone shares Harvey's viewpoint. Some argue that neoliberalism has had positive effects. They point to increased global trade, economic growth in various parts of the world, and the rise of entrepreneurship as a testament to the success of neoliberal policies. They contend that the emphasis on free markets has fostered competition, innovation, and efficiency. The push for deregulation, they argue, has removed bureaucratic red tape, paving the way for businesses to thrive, and the trend towards privatization, they maintain, has led to more effective and efficient services. However, these counter-arguments do not negate Harvey's critique. They only serve to highlight the complexity and multifaceted nature of neoliberalism. The key is to understand that neoliberalism, like any ideology, is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Its implementation and effects vary across different contexts and regions. Whether you view neoliberalism as a boon or a bane, its influence on our world is undeniable. It's up to us to critically examine its principles and effects and shape our future accordingly.